Hi, thanks for having me here. My name is Agha, and I'm the founder and CEO of Aghaz Investments. Before we start, the name Aghaz, some of you probably think that I named it after my own last name, Agha, but actually that's not the case. Aghaz in Urdu means the first step, the beginning, the positivity, the energy that comes with starting a new journey. And that name really fits because that's what this effort is all about. We're all different, and I love that. I'm a Muslim, I'm from Pakistan, an American, I'm living in Dallas, Texas. We have several friends here from Africa, from India, from Mexico. We all have different beliefs, values, causes that are important for us. But what's important is that while we are all so different, we are also very similar, very similar. We have dreams. We have goals in life. Like Mushta, my wife, she loves to work with young children, so she wants to open up her own Montessori. My son, who just turned 18, wants to buy his first new car. He already knows what sound system he wants. Some of us want to save for retirement to spend time with our loved ones. We all have goals. Some of our goals are probably expensive, and we need to save for our goals. Now, I am, like all of us here, very values driven. These are my values. As I said, I'm a Muslim. I believe in equal rights. I have two daughters, so I believe in equal rights for women, inclusion, climate change. This is who I am. Everything I do is reflected by my values, like they do yours. Yet, because of who I am, because of what I believe in, I am, like millions of people across the world, unable to save and invest for my goals. I am excluded, and to be honest with you, that sucks. The reason for that simply is that our financial system is a mess. It is unfair. In fact, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that it's rigged against the common person. Now, I realize my own privilege, right? I realize that this very system has helped me and most of us in this room get to where we are. But there are millions, millions excluded from this system just because of their beliefs and their values. To put it bluntly, our financial system that's based on interest is exploitative. It is based on exploitation. Islam, Judaism, Christianity, all the Abrahamic faiths prohibit interest or usury for that very reason. Just take a look at this chart. Payday loans, they cater to people who need cash urgently, right? They give out a loan at 650% annual interest rate. So that's how we support our most vulnerable population that probably are struggling to put food on the table, and we're going to charge them 6 times the interest just for the privilege? Interest is exploitative. All over South Asia, Pakistan, where I'm from, we have poor farmers. They might have taken a small loan years ago for agriculture or a wedding or something. And then they spend generations, I'm not kidding, generations just paying off the interest. That's financial slavery. Happens in every district in Pakistan. Again, interest is exploitation. Now, it's not just interest. For me, as an investor in the US, most of the stocks in the US force me to compromise my values and choose banking institutions based on interest, liquor, gambling, pornography, the so called sin stocks. I don't invest with them because that's not who I am. That's not what my values are. And just like many of the 5 million US Muslims and 2 billion global Muslims do not. So you might say, why am I picking out US stocks only? Not really. Pakistan, I'm from there. It's an Islamic country with 220 million, mostly Muslims. Only half of their available investments are actually aligned with our values. It's ironic, but it's true. And that tells you the reality of where we are living. We have a massive problems and we can't save for our goals. So what happens? For people for whom their values are important, which I think are most of the people, they stay on the sidelines, excluded. Many of us, and you'd be surprised to know, because we don't usually like to talk about this, how many of us put money under our mattress? Checking accounts are basically like a mattress, right? I have friends who put $1 million in their checking account. Others buy gold, real estate, just like our grandparents did, right? We don't like it as much, but at least that's not compromising our values, right? Nothing wrong with owning gold, real estate, or even some cash in the checking accounts, but just take a look at this. The purchasing power of a dollar has been dropping for decades. And by the way, this was before inflation started inching up. Actually, inching up is an understatement, racing to 8.5% and above. So, for those who are trying to avoid interest from their banks and whatever else is against our values, are basically just becoming poorer and poorer year over year. Let's look at real estate. Now, our recent decade in real estate investments has probably spoiled many of us. But real estate investments can get into decades long ruts where investors get stuck with their capital and nowhere to go. It's a poor alternative and a heavy risk to take just because we are values conscious. Gold, we all love gold, but this yellow glittering metal has a tendency to get into steep declines for years and years. And who's to say where we are now looking at this chart in 2022? So let me bring back this picture again. There are many of us unable to save for our goals. We have to take unnecessary risks. We pay an expensive price just because we don't want to compromise our values and just because we want to save for our dreams. It feels awful to be cheering from the sidelines. It is unfair. And it leads to a world where I hope most of us don't want to live in. So, what do we do? There are solutions. There are ways to save and invest without compromise. We have to take baby steps. For example, let's just take investing as an example. There are some global organizations now that are creating frameworks for compliance with various value systems. Islamic values, for instance, they define what exactly constitutes an investment that complies with Islamic beliefs. ESG values, social impact values, faith-based values, Christian values. AOFI organization that I show here is only one of them. There are multiple others that are now providing this data in a very consumable format that wasn't available before. And what's interesting is that in the US alone, more than a third of the stocks available in the US, probably about 1,200, 1,300, they comply with Islamic values. So people who are sticking their money under the mattress don't know that. Investment companies are probably not creating solutions that comply with this sub-universe, but they exist. And we can use these to improve our financial exclusion. Furthermore, there's a significant economy of scale to be achieved when we create faith-based and value-based solutions synergy. There is a significant overlap with ESG, social values, Islamic values, for instance, and all of a sudden, we are not talking about 5 million Muslims in the US or 6 million Jewish community in the US. We are talking about all people who have strong value convictions and who want their financial lives to be in harmony with their values. That is Aghaz. It's a full service, one stop solution for everything in your financial lives, from planning to saving to investing to giving, according to what's important for us, according to our beliefs, and according to our values. That is Aghaz. It's your financial life where we don't have to compromise our values. Our financial lives can be aligned with what we care about and what we believe in. So we all need to work together to get rid of this inequitable and unfair situation that many of us are finding ourselves in, because it just doesn't have to be this way. So this is our team. We have deep expertise in finance and tech and background from Microsoft, Wharton, Wall Street, and others, but that's not really important. What's really important is that we believe in our mission And why we all got together and left our jobs is because we are all values driven. We want to live in our lives where our values represent our financial lives as well. One more thing, by the way, we actually might get good returns when we align our investments and our values. Look at this chart. It's only one of our several target products that we are working on, which complies with social impact and Islamic values. It far outperforms the market over an extended period of time. Now, as an investment advisor, I am not promising future returns, guaranteeing anything. But that just tells me that we can do well and do good. For too long, it's been one or the other, do well or do good, no more. We can and we will do good and do well at the same time. Thank you.